Welcome to What If Deku was a quirk singularity. It took a while for me to come up with this, especially since I now have school and other things I have besides YouTube. So the best I can do for now is, this video until I can come out with another 3 videos next week. Or hopefully I get the chance to. This actually does not start in the beginning. Why? Because it's just too much of a hassle. I'll explain how, everything is. All you need to know is that he does not have the quirk of One for All. Instead, the person of One for All was never a thing. Since the One for All users, technically developed, or not developed, but more lines kind of have All Might choose, the proper person. All the users kind of guided him to the right person. In this timeline, you can say he did meet All Might, but in a different manner, you can say. All Might, having the quirk, actually found someone to heal him, but not as his prime self. There's too much damage done to, have him go back to his prime self. So yes, he is healed, but, he's staying at the same strength. Maybe a little bit stronger, but besides that, that is all. So, what would happen in this story is when, Deku tries and gets All Might, or tries to, go for his foot. All Might was, a bit quicker and, inevitably flew off before, Midoriya can grab his foot. That's basically, technically how they met, but at the same time not. This version of All Might isn't how do I say this without This version of All Might isn't dumb, you can say. He knows how to teach you the basics of, One for All, unlike the original All Might. But the thing is, he hasn't found anyone to kind of give the quirk to yet. And, I'll say he does know about, if it is given to a quirk person, it would cut their lifespan in half. Or since, it's dramatically evolving the quirk, it would probably cut that down to 75% of their lifespan. Meaning that you'll either only live to age 25 or 30 or 30. So yes. If you're lucky, you'll make it a 40, but yeah. What happens is this. Midoriya crying that he couldn't have his answers from Midoriya. Or wait, no, I just said I wasn't going to explain everything from the beginning. Whoops. Anyways, we go to UA. Why? Because what time I'm telling the story is in UA. Okay, that makes it simple. So, how did Midoriya get into UA? Good question. By logic. Due to Midoriya not being able to have a quirk or use his Z quirk, or no habit, he would use his brain to the absolute limit, coming up with the most and simplest way to take down enemies, by not being touched by them. Kind of think of it as the kid of, what was it? The demon in high school, or the demon school, the kid that, after so much, abuse, he kind of gained ability where he no longer can kind of get hit by any sort of object. Kind of a ultra instinct, but I guess by clumsiness, you can say. Demon Hanzo was actually pretty good at me. But basically, Midoriya's body is, think of it as a, okay, so it's not like a spider sense. You don't just think of it and you move. It moves your body for you. So every time there's danger around, Midoriya's body would move on its own. So yes, basically kind of like a spider sense, but mixed in with like ultra instinct. It's like ultra instinct sense, I guess. But it's only, the only downfall is it's only capable of if it's humanly possible of the movement, of course. So he can still get attacked, but it's just his body. As long as his body has a way to like kind of dodge it, it will dodge it. But if you're faster than him, or you're like Stain or something, something that's faster or stronger than you, that actually connects to you, then it can't really do anything. As long as you're able to outpace or be faster than his body can move, you can practically beat him. Which in this case, not a lot of people can, or at least they can beat him. But more lines, not beat him, but kind of, it's weird because you can't really beat him because since he, to train for the 10 months, he would have, insane stamina. Because I feel like he would more align have his physique or have his lung capacity at, like, just minimum, like, just maximum. So basically, his instincts are just on the rail, basically. Anyways, enough talking about jibber jabberish. We go to Deku. Midoriya, he would be, of course, bullied or by Bakugo. Midoriya wouldn't really care about it, because, I mean, by this time, Midoriya kind of lost hope for, what people think about him. His mother, still has an ideal, oh, my baby Izuku, he's gonna get hurt, and whatnot. Yeah, so no one really believes in Midoriya besides himself. And I'll say, since this quirk technically is fire, if the maximum potential of fire inevitably becomes plasma if you superheat gas. So, yes. And it's pure gas. It's not, no, random gas. It's literally just normal gas, just superheated gas. So, yeah. If you're wondering. So, it's pure plasma. So no, like, rainbow colors. That's basically what, the quirks look like. Anyways, let's go to, the USJ. Actually, no, the quirk examination, sorry. The quirk examination would be very different. Midori would grab the ball as Aizawa would hand him the ball. Midoriya's hand would feel as if it's burning. As if a numb sensation, as something is there. His hand starts to hurt and kind of numb a bit. As then he throws the ball with all of his might. Gaining all the way to about, I'll say the best that a person can do, realistically, depending on what sense. What's realistic? So, a football would go for like 100 meters across the field. So, 100 meters to 105 meters, about that. Like 130 meters. Or 125 meters, about that much. He would be a very good thrower, especially since, he does do sports. So, yeah. Having, baseball compared to a football would be a lot more easier to throw and have a lot more pressure behind his, practically equaling, the ball flying. And I'll say parts of the ball almost caught on fire. But, it was more lines, just smoky, I guess. The ball was a bit smoky. But since, you know, it was natural, no one really thought of it as, you know, a quirk or anything like that. Aizawa was, you know, impressed by the human feats. Of course, you know, not happy because, I mean, quirkless kid in your class. I'll say the only reason he kind of made it to Class 1A was due to his knowledge. And I mean, with this man's knowledge, I'm pretty sure you can deal with anybody. Kind of like a Batman, I guess, with when it comes to knowledge. Or at least, you know, them contingency plans he has for, like, everyone. That's basically what Midori is. Basically. He knows every weakness to everyone, so we all know that the sports festival is going to be easy. At least for him. Until, you know, someone decides to, like, blow half the stadium up with, like, either ice or something. So, yeah. I'll say next would be Heroes vs. Villains, of course. Heroes vs. Villains. It would be as canon. Bakugo would go around the corner, try to explode Midoriya, inevitably fail, and, you know, kind of 1v1 with hands. Of course, until Bakugo somehow gets Midoriya away. Midoriya would kind of box or, like, fight Bakugo hands to hands until, you know, Bakugo sets an explosion to kind of clear some distance between them, and inevitably, with his cockiness, will pull the pins as half of Midoriya's... I'll say he would have scars, but it wasn't from the fire or the explosion. It was more of light from the impact. And, yeah, basically. So all the scars Midori would have in that scene wouldn't be from fire, but the impact. So, give or take, like, the wind pressure that was around the explosion, kind of, you know, he still has the marks, it's just not from fire. So, yeah. Of course, no one will notice this because, I mean, he kind of, you know, his suit, he knew what Bakugo's quirk was, so, I mean, he made it fireproof, so, I mean, yeah, basically. Or at least, no, because he would have the one that his mother would. Yeah, he would have the one that his mother would, never mind. He would kind of, in an X formation, half of his, like, body was, like, engulfed in the explosion. Yes, it did explode his clothing. At least parts of it. Midoriya's willpower, you know, he was still alive. I'll say, you know, All Might still did. Bakugo, no, you're gonna kill him. He's not gonna die if he dodges, you know. From the mist and rubble and debris of the smoke, there will lie a Midoriya with determined eyes. Well, basically run at Bakugo, grab a rock, and start throwing rocks at him. Kind of getting him, catching him off guard, and inevitably getting close enough where he can kind of use the capture tape to kind of wrap around him. Yes, while he's still conscious, kind of fling him up like Aizawa, because I'll say he was paying attention to Aizawa. And inevitably, he kind of used Aizawa's trick. He kind of used the capture trick as a scarf. So inevitably, he would have, you know, he would have outpaced Bakugo in speed, kind of ran around him. The first rock he threw was the capture trick, kind of, you know, on the rock, you know, inevitably throwing it around, running around Bakugo, and then inevitably rushing past Bakugo to tie him up, throw him up in the air, and then kind of smash him down on the ground head first. Kind of like Lotus from Rock Lee, Hidden Lotus. So yeah, Bakugo was down for the count. Yeah. And next thing that would happen is Uraraka versus Ida. We all know that goes as canon. As you know, Midori would pop up. And, you know, kind of outnumbering Ida. Ida would go for the weaker link, and inevitably be, comprehended, or not comprehended, practically, he would pay too much attention on Midoriya, trying to get Midoriya out, try to capture him, and, fail. As Uraraka would touch the bomb floating above Ida and kind of landing on top of the bomb. Yeah. USJ. Midoriya would feel that something is wrong as his body would start moving towards exit, or at least not. I'll say not moving towards exit, but his body would kind of get the hint that something's going on, getting like vibes, bad vibes from it. As inevitably villains show up, everything goes down. They're on the boat. And here's showtime. While Midoriya is on the boat, he would, how would you say? He would try to think of something, but knowing that there's no way to actually get out by using quirks, he would kind of go for the boat's engine. And if you know what this man's about to do, this man's about to electrocute the water by using the boat itself. So yeah. Inevitably ripping out wires and kind of having the wires into the water, it would electrocute everyone, or at least everyone in the water. Inevitably, everyone would be fried as Midori would take the, wires out of the water, and inevitably, Suyu, everyone would kind of, walk or kind of rush swimming to shore. Now, let's get to Shigaraki. Shigaraki, as you know, Nomu is kind of beating on Aizawa. Midoriya is now unsure, same with Suyu. Shigaraki tried to decay Suyu, but will get thrown or kind of yeeted into Midoriya's direction when Midoriya pulled out not a rope but a scarf and basically, hold up. Aizawa would have taught him a bit of the scarf by then, like give or take like 2 days, a day or two, couple days, maybe like a week or so. But anyways, yeah, he would have gotten taught by Aizawa how to use the scarf a little bit. So basically, what Midoriya would do would have a lot of tools with him when it comes to combat, so like darts, smoke screen bombs, and like I'll say maybe like I'll say a rope and like a chain. I don't know. He would just have like random tools that help him with fighting, I guess, and kind of bring Shigaraki towards him. Shigaraki would try to disintegrate him, but sidestepping him and tripping him, giving Midoriya enough time, as Shigaraki, before being body slammed, would get, teleported away by the Kirigiri, and then Nomu would chase after Midoriya. Or more lines of students. As trying to get Asui, Midoriya would probably be punched in the ground in a crater in the ground like Yamcha. The only difference is that this man actually gets back up. And what next will happen is he would be in a dark room. In this dark room, he would feel his life flashing. He would feel his body getting warm, seeing a light above him. But in the background would hear all the screams of the students and everyone. As in suddenly Midoriya would wake up. And basically he's about to get, dead by the Nomu with one final punch, as Midori would just reach out an arm and a flame would appear. More lines disintegrating the Nomu with fire. Or turning the Nomu into ashes. So yeah. Or at least the front part of the Nomu, of course. Midoriya would then aim for like the head and inevitably somehow kill the Nomu with that attack while laying down, basically. Boned, broken, everything. Killing the Nomu. Nah, because let's say his attack... No, you know what? I'm not going to make it like Todoroki's attack. So say Midoriya's quirk is more aligned aimed like a weapon. So it doesn't go like area spread. It more aligns goes for one area. So when Midoriya put his hand up towards Nomu's head, or at least in the Nomu's general direction, it was pointed at, the Nomu's head, as inevitably with one shot, a beam of fire would just disintegrating the brain, or, turning the brain into ashes, inevitably killing the Nomu. Midoriya then fainting afterwards. And that is where I think I end the video. Thank you all for watching. What if Deku was a quirk singularity? And I'll see you all in the next one.